so cute.
Good morning, sunshines.
Good morning.
Morning.
You go first, Jen.
My name is Joanna Rodriguez. I am a wife. I am also a mother of 3 beautiful children. I specialize in property management and I am a real estate agent here in Houston, Texas.
Hey y'all, my name is Sabrina Marie Calvillo. I'm a realtor in the Houston Galveston area and co-founder of this podcast.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sophia, Medina. I am the owner of Patio Gate Pet Resort and Fairy Tale Quails Farms.
We are gonna want to say a special thank you to Bolt Mortgage, Lauren, Ashley, and Matt Hyde for allowing us to use this beautiful studio here in Lake City for the podcast. Ignite a new beginning at boltmortgage.com. So let's get into it, ladies.
Alrighty.
All right, so tell us a little bit about you and your background and how you came to be.
Well, I am a small business entrepreneur. I have been now in almost close to 20 years. And it is my passion. It's absolutely my passion. I work with animals. Patio Gate Pet Resort has been in operation for 9 years. We have had almost 5,000 clients in those 9 years.
Wow.
Which means 5,000 beautiful animals. Sometimes a family will have 3 dogs. And I can tell you right now, I probably know the names of all of the dogs still that have stayed in my facility. Now, the people that have actually paid me, no, I can't remember them. But the dogs, their pets, them I remember. My passion is to serve my community. That is really my goal. I believe one should be able to make and turn a profit by also giving back, and that thinking has gotten me to where I am today.
That's awesome. That's great.
All right, well, we're going to get into goals and how to achieve them. During this podcast, we're discussing women in business and empowering each other through our successes and pitfalls. I know when we spoke recently, we discussed your business and how you were ready to throw in the towel, which is how this podcast came to be with Joanna. She's powering through and remains in her business, but that may not be the route that you're taking. And so we want to talk about your decisions that you made for your business and also how you came about those decisions and where you are headed.
Yes, I think something a lot of people that go into business and become entrepreneurs, especially small businesses, the backbone of our country, is to constantly remember it is okay to pivot. So 3 weeks ago, I wanted to, you get burnt out. And if you don't listen to your body, you will find exhaustion. And the root of exhaustion is where you kind of begin to extinguish the fire that fuels your dreams. You can get too narrow-minded and focused on your set goal of this is how I'm going to get there, but there are multiple routes to achieve and get to your goal. So constantly be open to pivoting. And so with that burnout, I realized I might need to pivot. And there's a tug and pull and tug with that, because you want to adhere to the way you've been going. This is what works. Yeah. You know, you are set and so confident in the route that, as for me, the route that you took, that you knew got to a certain goal, but things around you change. And so rather than throw in the towel, it's important to take time to reset. And again, it's so important to be open to pivoting. So I've decided to pivot. And I was going to use this platform to say, my pet resort is changing. We're going to pivot into a more affordable dog daycare. Oftentimes, a subject matter can be overdone, like luxury everything. It's good to scale back, pivot your vision to what your demographic needs.
Especially now in such a time that we're having such an economic, stressful time, people can't really afford the luxuries right now, even if they once did. You know, they're having to really relook at their budgets and kind of see where that is. I was listening to something that said that there's courage in quitting, and they referred back to Simone Biles, how when she quit the Olympics, she had to take some time to reset. And the next year she went back and she competed and she got bronze. She didn't get gold, and she was happy with bronze because she knew where she was coming from.
I like that.
Yes.
Okay.
And then so she went back, she took some time off, and then she came back and she was killing it at this Olympics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's back. So sometimes, yes, the reset is important.
It's extremely important, and I personally have learned what it can do when you stay under that pressure of producing, one, like I said, committing to that one avenue that you've taken. Or if you were like me, you kind of revolted against taking a break. But it is what will get you to success, is that reset and that pause. Reassess where you are emotionally, because you cannot have a successful business unless you are fully there, if you're present. What Simone Biles did is amazing, and look where she got our nation.
She's a legend.
Look where she got our nation.
And she took the courage to quit,
Yeah.
right? She had
See,
the
I didn't
courage
even know
to
about
say,
Just learning
I'm not
about
gonna do this right now, you know?
Mhm.
And she took a breather and said, she stopped right at the middle that they were competing with the team. So she didn't just quit herself, she quit her team,
Wow.
right? In the
Yeah.
middle of the Olympics. And imagine how hard that is, right? But there's courage in quitting. And sometimes, but there's a difference between quitting versus running away from your problems, right? And so I think that you're definitely courageous in that moment to say, I'm making a change for me,
Yeah.
for what feels better for me in my business.
Yeah.
So I think that that's phenomenal.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I love that you've owned several businesses, and so what I would love to start, for you to start there and take us through your business journey and the support that has come or that hasn't come to lead you to your next venture.
Ooh, okay, great question. I always tell people nothing in this world is black and white. There are so many areas of gray, and it is hard not to be boggled down by someone else's black and white definition of success. And that often is going to lead you to where you are going to find support, and you're going to find lack of support. And I often tell people it may not be the person you care for, it's lack of support. It may be their lack of understanding. To become a businesswoman, to enter the business arena,
Absolutely.
there are so many fears. You have to be a unique individual, because most people will look at you and go, why? Why the stress?
I have that.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And so in their mind, their support is telling you, run right now.
Yeah.
This is going to be hard.
Or how can you
Run
do
far and
that?
fast.
Mhm.
Run far and fast.
And I tell people, it's really being a businesswoman and in the business game, it is a touch and go to decipher where that support is coming from. If it's the support you need, whether it's good or positive and or negative support, understanding those that may not show up for you in the way that you wish, having compassion to understand everybody's perception, and ultimately, and I say this a lot, is being like a duck feather. You have to be able to glide through water covered in oil and have that water just splash inside of you. You cannot get stuck. You must glide through it. And so I have found huge support in friends that I've known for years. I've found some of my biggest supporters in because of social media, and admirers of friends that you've known forever. And it's the girl in third grade that I haven't seen in 20 years that goes, I just love what you do.
Oh,
It's so amazing.
it is.
And then it's the phone call you have with your aunt that says, are you sure? I don't want to do, I couldn't imagine doing that every day.
Yes.
And it takes a very big backbone, and you have to decipher these things. And then it ultimately comes down into here. There is no true right or wrong. As I said, the area is full of a lot of gray. It is up to you to decide where you're going to put certain things that affect you in which category.
Absolutely.
You know, I get the chills hearing that because it's true. I think it hurts more, and you're like in shock whenever it's coming from a family member. But when it comes from a friend or somebody you just met a month ago, 5 years ago, that support, and then you have the negativity from your family, like how can you? Why? You don't have to. It's definitely, it takes a toll on you.
It does.
Sufficient.
Why? How is it that somebody I just met is supporting me more than my family member?
It's that line, that blurred line between when your family looks at you and loves you, and being in business is so hard that when they see the struggle, it's very easy for a loving mother to go, oh, I got a job, you know? And when they
My mom
want-
does that all the time. She's
Get a
like,
job.
Sabrina, just get a job.
And it's hard because you sit there and go, okay, mom, you've got to understand that she's looking at you looking at your source of stress.
Yeah.
And then that other person that just met you, they don't want to see you stressed either, but they look at what you're doing as exciting. They're going, jump for it, you know.
It's gonna get better.
Yes.
You have some questions for her?
I do. It's, I am blessed to be able to meet you because I myself have a passion for pets, especially dogs. So I myself have a Belgian Malinois.
Oh, beautiful.
I had two. They both came from Monterrey, Mexico. Yeah,
Cool.
so son Mexicanos. My girl just passed away last year before Christmas. That broke my heart. But I have my other Malinois.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. They are bat crazy. But I do have a question for you. What made you want to be an owner of doggy daycares, in that industry? What led you that way?
My mother asks me the same thing every time she comes to visit. I was not raised with not one animal in the house. How funny is that?
Really?
People would go, oh, how many dogs do you have growing up? I said, none, but my floors were spotless. That was my childhood, so my mother often asks, what got you into this? It comes down to, as cheesy as it sounds, I really do think I was put on this earth to serve, and to serve my community, to serve whatever name you call him upstairs, or vibe, or rock, or universal law. I am here to serve. And so I decided to find a creature on this planet that nurtures us, which are animals, our pets. And I wanted to be able to go into business with that and my firm belief is that you can make a profit, make money, while doing good for others and providing something other people need.
Yeah.
And so if I can take care of your little angel while you go and enjoy life, you call me and you want to go to Cancun and you need someone that you care for that is not going to nickel and dime you, I wanted to provide that, to have my time with the animals. And I love giving them back, as the temporary, my responsibility.
It's like children.
That's true.
And it put a smile on my face. They don't get mad at me. They love me. I get to work with them and provide something that eases, my fellow American brother and sister so they can enjoy their life.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
that's where that was born.
Awesome. I have another question for you.
Yeah.
What has been the most difficult or toughest breed you came upon at work?
Interesting question. My most difficult breed. I'm going to say recently, and this might be a shocker, German Shepherds.
Okay.
German Shepherds. And the reason being is they're very popular, but they are very overbred. And so they tend to be a little more sickly. And so I've encountered dogs that, where if their owners can't tell, they have hip dysplasia. And they might be misunderstood by nipping because they're in so much pain. So having dog owners that aren't familiar with their breed that they have decided to raise is what's put me in a tough spot. And a lot of these things you need to look out for, especially German Shepherds. And they can maybe misinterpreted moments of aggression when it's really just, I'm in so much pain.
Yeah.
And so I found a lot of German Shepherd parents maybe should look a little more into their health, as that breed used to be a backbone of American, white picket fence, German Shepherd. And so and we see the same with Frenchies and whatnot. That has been my breed that I've noticed has been a little more misunderstood, generally as they grow older.
Okay. And I ask because I, put Milo in doggy daycare not that long ago, so we can go to Mexico, and he is not very friendly, but they did a great job with him. I came back and I was just comfortable knowing that he was happy there. Came back to like a little boy with a smile on his face.
That's awesome. That's awesome. They're just like kids.
Yeah.
And just like children, there is no, and I'm going to say this 1,000 times, there is no one fits all. You might have a very sociable little girl that bounces around, and you could have a son that goes. And just like dogs, there are antisocial dogs and babies that push around. And my job, my duty, is to understand which is who and not force them to be one or the other.
Yeah. Well, I love that about you.
Yeah.
I do, and I'm gonna need your business card.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I do like that your location has moved and you're actually on the way to Bush now. So if you're coming, well, I know you're up north, so she would be lateral, but most people can kind of just come up north and on their way to Bush, just dropping.
Yes, it's all about convenience. So if you're headed into international travel out of Houston, Texas, give me a call. We have self drop off, and it's about making things easier rather than keep peddling Apple TV story time for the dogs. What do you need? Do you need to take 2 rides to drop the dog off first, then go to the airport? Pack up your car, put your dog in, get his bag, come, put your coat in, put your baby in the crate, and head off straight to the airport. No worries.
Love
And
that.
upon landing,
Okay.
let us know. You can come pick up your kid as well.
How many dogs would you say you have in the facility at once?
I prefer, again, because I'm small, I'm not franchised, I prefer to have a low population.
Okay.
So I max at 30 dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that because that means you get more of a one-on-one with my baby.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I know a little bit more about your story, and so I have a question, and I think mine kind of goes back to, I know how your story unfolded, and so would you say that your business and your personal life tend to run together?
No, I would say to anybody in business, when I read this question, I thought, loaded.
It's me.
Yeah,
Loaded.
it is optimal. If I had to have this discussion with any other small business owner, is you have to find the right mix for you. Okay, and in life you're going to do all of the wrong mixes, so there's no rush or hurry. But from life experience, protect your assets, protect your focus. This is not a regular job. You have your own schedule. You are your boss. And our personal lives tend to really influence our creativity, our devotion, our productivity. And so in general, and from me, trial and error, you want to find someone that really matches and supports your level of productivity and your devotion. Most importantly, the devotion, because it takes a while to master a full balance between, the obsession you have with your career and the obsession one might have for new love. To find someone that suits you and is okay with you rambling around the house at 4:45, maybe not pair up with someone that has to sleep till noon because that might not jive.
Yeah, I like
so
that.
find that balance when approaching to a partner, especially in small business.
I agree.
That makes sense. Okay. What has been the best advice you have received, either for your business, personal, or both?
It took me a long time to even accept the advice, and now I share it with you guys as if I mastered it and it wasn't 2 days ago. It is definitely the best advice and it's most difficult for anybody in business, is when to breathe. Burnout is very serious. It is very serious. Burnout is sometimes it's not just being tired and crying, it's having cortisol levels that are dangerously high and your heart feeling tight. And there is a time to sacrifice one's comfortableness, but sacrificing your health is an absolute no. You cannot serve or provide for others if you are too stressed.
I'm an empty cup.
Yeah. And so I definitely recommend, like I said, I hit my wall head on, because in your mind you're invincible. I will never stop. I will pick up dogs all day. But there's only so many German Shepherds one can pick up.
Yep.
So take time, stretch out, relax, breathe, go to the beach, do small things, even if it's a drive around the house with your favorite song on. If you want to listen to Whitney Houston and just let out a good scream, take that time to focus on
Or
self-care.
a super good workout.
Or super good workout.
She does great workouts. Yeah.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah. But moving the body and connecting with yourself is really gonna give you a moment to think, is to breathe. But if you go without a pause, whether it's in your workout, driving, or taking a walk, and you don't focus on where the level of your cup is, before you know it, you'll look at that cup and all that liquid will have evaporated, you are dry.
Yep.
So take time to refill your cup.
And that's where we go back to reset, recharge, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any questions for either one of us before we start out? Do you have any other questions for her?
I don't. I'm good.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
cool.
Do you have any questions for us on in regards to goals and how to achieve them?
My question is how to have the moxie and the two of you to be bold enough to be mothers and tackle on podcast and tackle on your individual businesses. How do you get it done? Because I talk to my dogs. I can imagine if they talked back and were throwing things back at me. I'd lose it. I would lose it.
I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
Ooh, I have a lot to say. I'm
I'm
just kidding. Well, this is fun. This is like a little getaway, and I get to see my cousin who lives on the other side of town from me. I mean, it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but I love showing my kids what I can do, so that when they're older, they can say, "My mom did this and my mom did that," and just leave those good, strong memories behind. And then I get to look back and look at myself, because I can tell you something. On the way over here, I'm like, darn it. Who I was 5 years ago, who I was 10 years ago, can't even catch up to the woman I am today. So I always look at my why. And I do get tired. There's times where I'm up till like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. writing up a contract or looking for houses. But I always remember why. And I do take my time to myself. I do. I love what I do. Sometimes I'm like, how do I do it? I don't know. So I do have to stay away from the Celsius. I don't know if you know what that is. A pre-workout.
A pre-workout.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I naturally talk a lot. So if I'm
It's
on
like
the
an
Celsius,
energy drink.
I
Oh,
talk
wow.
way more. Yeah, it's like an energy drink. Yeah.
I think mothers, to me, I don't understand how you guys. I can sit here and brag about my simple. I get up, it's me, and then some me, and then me. I cannot imagine. Like, it's me, Jonathan, Sarah, Steve.
So let me tell you something. I have three. Just turned 12, so you can imagine that.
Oh.
And then I have a 10-year-old. She'll be 11 soon, and I have a 7-year-old. Oh my God, she's already 7. Wow. So I have three, and sometimes I'm like, okay, work. While they are in school, I'm gonna work as much as I can. But once they get home, I focus on my kids. I focus on my dog. I focus on my husband. We're also involved in sports: baseball, football, cheerleading. All my three kids. My son's playing baseball, and my daughters are playing softball, or he's in football and they're in cheer. I love keeping them busy, and at the same time they're busy, me and my husband were always together. So yeah, he gets up, he goes to work, I get up, get the kids ready, I pack their lunch, I feed them breakfast, they go to school, I come back home and I work. But when they're home, no work. No.
That's good.
I have to focus on my family.
Balance.
And you?
My babies are grown, and there was a very busy time in their life when they were swimming and football and band and all these other things, but that's not where we're at anymore. There for a long time, I very much was the helicopter mom, like,
Great mom.
and I just was very careful about all the moving parts. So when I became an empty nester, it was very hard. I went through a very tough time, and I don't think anybody really saw it, but it was very traumatic for me, because the life that I knew up to then, 20 something years, right, is gone like that. When they leave, I'm like, and so there for a couple of years, it was very hard to get on that side and still be like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Now, I think back to when I was in my 20s and what that looked like. I wasn't worried about my mom.
Yes.
I was out there living my best life, right? So I have to put that in my head and say they're out there living their best life, and that they know that when it's not the best, that they still have home. And and so I keep working, and the podcast wasn't supposed to be, and I say that lovingly, but it wasn't supposed to be, and this little nugget, it happened because of her, and I do look forward to this time with her, because she was my baby for a little bit too, right? So it very much is, it's an opportunity for me to spend time with her, to catch up and see how her babies are and things like that. And then for me, it's also, we don't know how many other people we're affecting out there. We don't know how many people need to hear a word of encouragement, or maybe they're struggling, or maybe their business is failing, or they don't know, or maybe there's a little aha moment that they hear, that they say, that was the missing link, that was the missing part to my story. And that's how, I said, okay, yeah, on top of the other 5,000 things we got going on, let's go ahead and do a podcast.
Let's fit that hour in.
Let's go. And then like right now, this isn't even green, it's pink, and it's bothering me because I know she wanted green and it's pink.
It's I don't even know until she said something.
Shout out to all of the mothers watching. Shout out to
Yeah.
Sabrina. Shout out to Joanna. Shout out to my mom.
Aww.
Sulaima Hernandez.
Hi.
You know what though? It's possible. What we're doing is possible. Being a wife, being a mom, being what you want to put into your head to do, you can do it.
Yeah.
Just learn to balance. But don't forget that when your body is asking you to rest, reset, refocus, recharge.
Yeah.
It's important.
So I have some questions for you for goals. I've
Okay.
noticed a lot more videos in your social media. I know that we may be going live with your people right now too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what content do you find gets the most attention? Like when you go back and you look, is there a monitoring system for that?
So no, I kind of just get these ideas and I go out with it. So I found out that showing houses, showcasing homes that have been on the market or are coming live on the market, those are getting a lot of views. And I can tell you why. People who are out of state or they're working all day, they have that moment to be able to tour those houses virtually, right, to their convenience, because I said they're out of state or they're at work. So it just gives them an advantage to be able to keep up with what I have to offer them.
So are you doing that via social media or virtual open house?
No, I'm just recording on my stories or
Okay.
I'm posting it. I'm just making a cute little small video and I post it on my Facebook.
Okay, and then they call you and they say, hey, I saw this
Yeah.
house and I want to go take a look at it, or can you blah, blah, blah?
Who's
Okay.
Joanna? Where can I get more information on about that house?
Okay,
TikTok. I had one person reach out to me through TikTok.
I did have some TikToks too.
And I was like, and that's what makes me want to upload more videos.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So it was just kind of an idea, and then I just keep doing it all the time, and I have people inquiring, hey,
So
how big is
where-
a house?
So where's your biggest following, or I guess where have you gotten the most leads?
Facebook.
Facebook, me too.
Facebook, yes.
Yeah, mine too.
People who didn't even have an idea or have it in mind to buy a house, they're reaching out to me.
Yeah.
And it's because they're able to see that house that I'm putting on my story, which is a few seconds, right? And they're like, oh, I like that. I want to go take a look at that.
Right.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. And they
Like-
see you doing the work. So they actually literally see you going out and doing that. I know that you have put your doggies on your Facebook as well sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, that one's cute. And
Everybody loves
Like,
doggies.
I know. And I go in and I'm like, oh my God, I want that one. The Shih Tzu. That's my, if I ever had another, Lucy.
Yes.
So, so if I ever decide to unbreak my heart like that again, then I would probably go with the Shih Tzu again. But
Let's swing by.
They have little
Any
attitudes.
baby.
to play with, right? I can
Yeah,
play with them.
Yeah.
Spend the whole day at the daycare.
Right? Totally
As
gonna,
soon as
I
we
may
leave,
have to
I'm
do
gonna
that.
take her.
No. I travel too much, y'all, for a puppy. And I know that about me. Like, I know that right now. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Sabrina. She's
Yeah.
I don't know why I
I'll
don't.
take care of them while you travel.
Okay.
No biggies.
Okay, so yeah, but if it's meant to be, the little guy will find me or girl will find me. Probably a
She
girl.
has a cat though, right? You have a cat.
I do have a cat, but my cat is dog friendly. He was good with the other puppies. So
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
all right. What would you say is the best advice you've received this year, and are you following it?
Oh yeah. You know what? I've been hearing this. I've had a friend. You may know her, Maritza, my friend.
I do remember that name from when you worked
Okay.
back in the day, right?
Mhm,
Together?
mhm.
Yep.
It's been my friend for over 15 years. And we go times where we don't talk. It's not personal. It's just life happens.
Right.
When we pick up that phone, it's such a good conversation. And a few months ago, I was telling her, like, I'm stressed. Like, I'm trying to balance out being a mom, being a wife, and still, right, succeeding in real estate. Like, I
Right.
want to do this. This is what I
Right.
want. She said, hey, Joanna, let go, let God. It's so simple. Like, it's so genuine, but
Mhm.
it's non-stressful.
That's right.
So I think that's the best advice I could have ever received.
I agree. And you were following that. Now you're
I'm
following it.
doing
You're
my
saying,
best. I'm doing my best. There's times where I do care, and I think I care more about what people have to say or what they think. Like I'm 50% there, and so I have to remind myself it doesn't matter what they say.
Right.
Let go, let God. What's gonna happen to me? What's gonna come to me? It's because that's what I deserve, and I've worked so hard for.
and that's where your alignment is.
Mhm.
All right. And what would you say is the biggest lesson that you've learned throughout your time of just being a business owner? Like, what's the biggest lesson that you could give our viewers that you've learned that could maybe save them some heartbreak or some angst in that moment and being a business owner during your time? And what's the biggest lesson you've learned?
Wow, that's a good one.
I gave it to you, previewed.
You did. You skipped those.
I didn't skip, it's right here.
Just believing yourself. And when people doubt you, that's another reason to get up even stronger. I mean, I feel like knowledge is power.
Yeah.
So do your research on whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you want to, pursue. Just do your research, study. Knowledge really is power. Don't depend on anybody. Depend on yourself.
Yeah.
To get the work done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
in our industry, it's contracts, right?
Yeah.
You have to read to know what to do next.
Yeah. I had a call yesterday.
That's what I learned.
I had a call yesterday that she didn't realize that she was in default on her contract. And I was like, let's look at this together. I was like, go to your contract. Let's go to this number. Look at this. Are you abiding by it? And she was like, and she immediately went into panic mode. And I had to kind of say, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You and I are the only one that know this in this moment. Let's correct, readjust, and get it right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's not the end of the
for me.
world.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I just want to say something. I learned that the hard way through a few deals where, you seem to have a TC, but at the end of the day, you're still responsible as the agent. Your name is still on everything.
Yep.
And shout out to Diane Vasquez. She's on our team, Remax Universal, the Matthew Guzman team. She has been my mentor. She is so great. She will help me, but she's like, hey, let's get on the phone and let's go over this word by word. You need to learn this. So shout out to her.
Yeah.
She's been so great to me and helping me learn my knowledge so I can provide that to my clients.
Absolutely.
How easy is it to say here, right?
Mhm.
She's like, nope, you're gonna learn this, man.
That's right. And
So
I am surprised how many agents don't know the contract, right? Like, they don't know, but they don't. You got to say, hey, but this is what this says, and then they're like, oh, right. So
Yeah.
All right.
Good question.
What's your goal this year?
My goal.
Personal or business, doesn't matter. What's your goal this year?
You know what? It's actually bold, and I'm about to tell you why. I want to build a strong foundation to still be a present mom, a present wife, and still succeed at real estate and property management.
You're doing property management?
It is something that I have on my list to do. I don't want to stay with that what if.
Okay.
So I've always had a passion for it. So I used to be a leasing agent, right? So of course, as a leasing agent, you have a boss on you. I mean, you have a boss regardless, right? You have regional, you have all your supervisors up there, but as a property manager, I feel like you have a bit more flexibility there, and that's what I need. So now with my real estate license, I have that ability to be able to be a property manager. So yeah. But what I'm saying is I want to build that strong foundation, and I still want to be a real estate agent, but I want to be a mom and I want to be a wife and still be able to take my kids to the sports.
So you feel that maybe property management might still be, because I'm going to be very honest and transparent, I did the same thing. When my kids were in school and I came out to be a realtor, and I realized how important it was to be present for my children at the time that they were present. So, football games, all the, Girls, Boy Scouts and all that stuff, right? Being there and being present. And so I came out, I got my license, I was doing the thing, but the time and the money weren't matching the vibe, right? What I needed and what I wanted were two different things at the time. And so I went back into property management. It sucked me back in, and I excelled. I went in and I became an assistant and then a manager and all that other stuff. And I was able to have that flexibility to go to the doctor's appointments, to the whatevers, And so I did go back into property management, and then I stayed there until my babies left. And then once my babies left, I
Which
said,
is why I
let's
joined.
try again.
I joined the property management as well, because she was in there. But I mean, I'm good where I'm at. Like, I'm so happy. I always wanted to try real estate. I was a leasing agent helping the realtors with the referrals for the property, and I would always just see them walk in, and but I didn't know that more came with that, right? A lot of headaches, but it's fun. It's rewarding. But I've always wanted to be a property manager, even when I was a leasing. But you have to climb that ladder, and having the license, you get more of a privilege to be able to just go in. Right? So it's on my to-do list. But I love being a real estate agent. Everything's good for me.
Yeah.
I'm blessed, right?
So your goal is to build a steady foundation.
A steady foundation.
What's your goal this year?
My goal this year is to commit to the change. Commit to change. I feel like I have been unchanged for so long, and so if anyone takes anything from this podcast or any words that might sound advicey or sage, it would be to embrace change, embrace pivoting, embrace all the things I took for granted, which is to take a breather, let go and give God. If you want to give it to the universe, if you want to give it to Allah, a piece of sage, a rock, whatever it is, give into the fact that the universe is going to cradle you and take care of you. Because he laughs when we have plans, and he laughs when you over micromanage, especially yourself. I have managed my own self into oblivion, and so now it is time to stop and breathe. And I think this goes for all of America. There is a general consensus that we're a little tired, and so I hope this year for everybody watching this, everybody around us, is the New Year's coming to breathe in. And let's be a little more grateful for what we have, grateful for the brain and intelligence that we all share, and our visions, and that we are healthy and strong to accomplish those goals. So I wish everybody good rest, good energy.
I love that. I'm gonna breathe in and breathe out.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
And a reminder that the only constant is change.
Exactly.
That's the only thing that stays absolutely the same, is that everything is always changing.
Yeah.
Expect the unexpected.
I have a confession.
Sure.
So I'm learning.
I need the cheese
to,
Yeah.
right? This is the point. So I'm learning to go with change. And let me tell you why. I was a housewife for 10 years. I'm blessed to have been able to have been given that opportunity. I was able to raise my kids until they were able to go to school. So when something changes, I kind of do struggle with that. Like, I need to get on. I speak to myself. Joanna, you got to get on board. Joanna, you have to learn. Different things are going to come your way with work, with whatever it is that, you're into or you want to accomplish. Change is always going to happen. And it happens a lot in real estate, right? Like with this whole new law. Yeah. Like
contract changing.
Mm-hmm. It's how do you adapt to change, or how do you go with change?
Here's a good question. How do you adapt to change? Now, as a businesswoman, studying your demographics and your audience is paramount, okay? When change is coming and you are so focused on the audience you had 10 years ago, you may not notice changes happen until it hits your bottom line. Studying your audience is key. For me, in my current business, my audience has changed. Things have taken a change. We were on a very big high from 2020. Everything went luxury. We all got those checks. We were spending. We were out of the house. Screw being locked up. Here we are. And after almost 4 years of that, there's big, and I know everyone feels it no matter the industry, we're pausing. And so the change is upon us. I feel the change right now in my business, in my industry. When you cannot afford daycare, or you cannot afford dog care, what is your next best option? You go, God, I really want to go on that trip to Cancun, but the dog care is going to cost me $700 because it's luxury this, luxury that. And so who suffers? The dog. Because it's very easy for a 26-year-old to bring that dog back and say, I can't afford it. And so I really want to fill that gap. My audience has changed. Where they wanted to pay $10 extra, everybody had a little extra money. They go, give them a bath, $30. you know, read my story at night. 15.
That's so cute. That's so cute.
And so I realized somebody, when they begin the phone calls changing, they go, can I limit services? Turns out I don't need Apple TV for him this weekend. That's
Apple
swift.
TV.
That changes
Hey, they need it.
swift.
I know. Well, my ex would leave the TV on for the doggies, but would raise the AC, and I come home to a hot house. I'm like,
Oh.
you don't care about spending the money so the dogs can have their Apple TV, but I gotta come home to a hot house because God forbid we leave it on 75 for the day, right?
Well, let me tell you
So-
something. Before I go to Mexico, we're gonna reach out to you. My husband, he did his research where Milo was going, and he went somewhere in Kingwood. They did a good job. Like, I get there, and there's dudes in like this glass room with the TV and his big old bed and a pillow and a toy. And then I get the bill, and I'm like, whoa, well, you're a brat.
You're a brat.
Yeah.
My goal is, my definite goal in the near future, to me, I always feel good when I make my money and it's honest, fair. And so there are beautiful facilities, so many. A big shout out to everybody in my industry, that if you have disposable income and you have a couple extra bucks and you need him to watch Breaking Bad, you can pay for that for your four-legged child.
Oh, of course.
If there's a young lady or
Breaking
young
Bad.
adult, freshly out of college, and they don't have that disposable income in the county, they're going, can I get just a cheap beer, and they want to go have fun, that also doesn't mean they should give up their companion. And so there are levels to these things, and I really would like to cater to make sure new parents or COVID dogs, that they stay in their owner's possession, and that I help bridge the gap to comfortability. They're living their life together. So while you go have fun, if you have the extra bucks, go find out where they're going to do the Apple TV. And if you need something for a temporary stay, less than a week.
The college kids is going raft,
Yeah.
floating down the river for the weekend or whatever.
I'm having you hold
for
on to your
sure.
pennies. Go have your drinks with your friend, because then I know you're going to come back feel more bonded. There's less stress on you,
Yeah.
less of a chance of giving that dog
And
up.
you still know that your baby is receiving the care that they need,
Exactly.
and they're
Safe.
not. Yeah. So that's cool. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
When other business owners come to you with their problems, how do you handle them, if at all?
And often, I think if you own a business, you do want to have a reach out to your peers, or have certain mentors. So when someone comes to me without a problem, like I said, I'm put on this earth to serve. So I very much try to look in the Rolodex of my memories of what problems I've encountered. Sometimes they go from structural, just building your facility off the ground where it's hands-on work. Some young entrepreneurs do everything on the internet and doing technological things. I think the best thing I can always say is it really comes down to your audience. So whatever industry you're in, my best advice is to take a moment to know your audience. You cannot go wrong, and is if you are targeting your audience, and if you are an educated consumer and also an educated producer. So if you're hitting and giving what your clientele needs, you are going to be received well.
Exactly. Yeah. That's great.
Can you tell us a time that you did not have a backup plan?
Oh, right now.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Tell us.
I did not have a backup plan. Like I stated earlier, I felt very stuck and set that this was the only way to be successful. Sophia's idea was it all. Okay, you couldn't tell me anything. And by staying up to date with my audience, I could very clearly see that I did not have a backup plan, and things were not going as they used to. So change was hitting me, and then you get that resistance we talked about, where if you're not open to it, you could stall out. And I almost very quickly did, because of that resistance to, no, I want the word luxury in the name, but is my audience still requiring luxury?
Right.
And sometimes when things are outdone, the biggest success you can have is go back to basics. Sometimes you start rejecting trends. And so I see people now go, we don't want Apple TV. And so what do I do? Get it off. I have to be open to change. I did not have a backup plan until I realized, backs against the wall, it was time to pivot. So if you hear this and you don't have a backup plan, be open to pivot. Be open to pivoting. Change is going to come whether you like it or not.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. And I think that was huge for me. because I was very, this is the way, and I'm very strong-willed, and I'm very strong-headed, and calm down, and then
Did you see that?
I knew that was coming. But I'm very that, and so one day I just said, the river flows easier if I just let it go, take me downstream, versus constantly trying to swim against it, against the current.
What a great
Yeah,
phrase.
because if I'm constantly going against the current, then where do I end up? And so I really had to take that time and say, you know what? Let me just float. Where are we going today? Where are we going today, God? Let's
You are
go.
a busy little bee. I have seen Sabrina juggle so many hats and execute them flawlessly, okay?
Oh, they're not
Because
flawlessly.
I know behind the scenes, she says you had to float as her friend and a fellow businesswoman. I said there, whoa, she is a busy little bee.
Yeah.
This woman does not stop. I mean, you've given me so much inspiration, especially recently. It could be just a phone call where she's like, hi, Sophie, checking in. Having a peer, colleague in your arena. And again, I'm not a mother. I take a lot of time to applaud those that I share the stage with that are moms. Because in my glory, I want to be like, look what I've done. I don't know if I can raise kids. I could take care of a dog, but having that balance, you are so impressive to me. And we've just met, I'm blown away. But yeah, execution on your end, I've seen personally, and Joanna, it's about getting up and doing it. And also knowing when you've got to go with the flow, not causing yourself more stress. So
I think that was phenomenal for me. Like, I think that there was so much weight in all the things that I was doing, and I felt, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that, I have to do that. And I had to change my mentality and say, I get to do this. I get to do this. I get to do that. Oh my God, I get to do this.
I can tell you something.
Yeah.
So I'm so proud of her because I lived with her for a while when I was younger. And not only was I living with her, my cousin, our other cousin was living with her. She let us use her couch, right? So blessed for that, so grateful for that, because we had good conversations as to, Jojo, where are you gonna be when you're 20? Where are you going with your life? I mean, she's a big reason why I was able to walk the stage, to be honest with you. Or I wasn't gonna go to my graduation. I'm grateful for that, and I'm not afraid or embarrassed to say that. But I've seen her juggle work, 3 kids, taking me in as a crazy teenager because I was hard-headed, and our other cousin, and still balancing school, because I think you were in school too at that time.
I saw her at that time.
Juggling so many things.
What
and
other
still
cousin was
caring
there?
for
Was it
family. Rhonda?
Okay.
Crazy Rhonda.
Okay. I've let a couple cousins.
Yeah,
so
and then she comes from all of that, like wearing all those hats and balancing all of that to across town, and now she's a real estate agent, because I know she always had a passion for that. I know you have.
Yeah.
We've had some conversations, and I'm so proud to call her my cousin because I look up to her.
I'm very proud.
Y'all are crazy.
Round of applause.
Don't crack.
We are women who empower women in business.
Yes.
Those moments that we give you, and the moments we try to, what you guys want to accomplish on the show, they're so important. So yeah, bravissimo. Round of applause.
You know what? It is a gift. It is a gift when a woman can empower another woman, when a woman supports another woman, because life is already hard as a woman,
Yeah.
right? We're so young, and what happens? Martha gets here.
Yeah.
Our cycle.
Yeah.
And then we have babies, and our body changes, and we get postpartum. We need to support each other. Life's already hard.
I was
know?
reading, I was listening to a TikTok, and because I don't sleep these days, but there was a lady that she talked about the different years that women were able to do things like vote and own property and own their own businesses, and some of these things are actually, they just happened like 2018, 2004, 2000. I'm like, wow, that's my lifetime. Like, there was a lot of it that was my lifetime now. There were very few things that were before my lifetime. So I'm very excited about the time frame that I'm in, right? And so I think, like, I do get excited about how much it is hard on top of all these other things. And maybe that's why we didn't have those opportunities, because they felt we couldn't handle these things on top of all those other things. But we've grown, you know, and
We are
we've
women.
yeah. And so it's become a change, and it's so important for us to continue to build each other up.
That, and I think if each of us as women, even men, but right now we're talking about women, right? If we were to reflect on where we were a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, are you proud of where you are at now? Because I am. Are you?
Very
Are
much
you?
so. Very much
Yeah.
so.
And I'm proud of who I have around my circle. Like,
Yeah.
I can call a strong woman right now. Hey, I need you to pick me up because I'm feeling this certain way.
Yeah.
Well, you better not be feeling that way because you've done all this and this and this through all that.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Those phone calls are the most important. Sabrina has given them to me, I give them to her. Having that, you can have a moment when you're down and you're like, you know, who am I? I'm confused. And it takes one girlfriend on the phone to say, hello, you just cleaned an entire house, made a banquet dinner, put 3 kids through high school and college, got a car, supported a career. I'm not saying that we are all super women. It's just I have never seen the superwoman and Sabrina in the same room. And I've never seen, the pink Power Ranger and me in the same room. We're just strong and that we are bad.
Yeah.
And it's really great to get a pick-me-up from someone who knows your struggle, another one who knows our emotions, the struggles we go through with our bodies. God gave us this task to bring life into this world and to nurture, and boy, do we do that.
Yeah.
But it takes every fiber of us.
It does.
So I think women in general, we are very bad at us.
I
We
agree.
are. And remember that if you are one who supports another woman, I look at a lot of women who sit in front of me and who are genuine to me as sisters.
Yeah.
So if you support another woman, you glow.
Mhm.
You glow.
You
And
glow.
you're beautiful in any room that you walk in.
You glow and grow differently, right?
Oh yeah.
I love that. Yeah, glow and grow.
Mhm. Yep. All right, so we're going into childhood introductions. So let's go with you.
Childhood introduction.
Yeah, so tell us about your childhood. We're going deep today. So part of our podcast, our first one, we kind of introduced who we were, and now we're gonna go a little deeper. And because you're a special guest,
Yes.
you get to go first.
And I want to know more. I want to know
We
more,
do.
and I'm going to tell you why. Because you have a passion for dogs, and when you were little, I caught on to this earlier. You
Yeah.
didn't have any pets growing up, so I want to know, who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah, I mean, what is a childhood of a business owner? What does it look like for you?
Oh, geez. I think it looks like every other child in America.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Every single one is different.
Yeah, I
We're
can
not letting
see
you.
that.
We're not letting you get away with
Um,
it. No.
A brief surrounding of my childhood. I am from what is called Manhattan suburb. I am
Wow.
from, I know this may sound funny, but I am from a very, once upon a time, it's not this way currently, but when I grew up in Germany, from a 5-mile big town. Very small. Now we have denser populations because we construct upwards, but my town was 5 miles big, and when I was young, it wasn't that populated. So it was like the last sticky Hicksville area right outside of New York. And I loved it because, I was raised with Frank Sinatra playing and looking at that skyline and looking at my little podunk town going, but if I could make it there, I could make it anywhere.
Oh.
One day I'm going to get across this river, and those are my goals. And so my childhood was, I have the world's strongest, most beautiful, 100% Puerto Rican American Latina mother, and she was a single mother. And when you go through a teenage phase, sometimes you kind of like get feisty with your parents, but the sacrifice that woman made built the person you're speaking to today.
Oh,
So
I love
really,
that.
having a strong mom, having a strong mom. My core values were in church, and that also guided me into my business as well. But having a community in that small town, like I said, that was underserved, that's what made this entrepreneur. Because I thought to myself, God, I still need to make money, but I really want to help my friends out. What can I do? And and I wanted to make my mom proud more than anything. I wanted her to say, wow, I gave birth to a child that wants to serve and do that. So I opened Get It Done Yoga Fitness Center a couple blocks down from where my mother's house was, because she liked to Zumba. And I wanted it affordable. So $20 you can Zumba. And I made a karate school for my kids in my town because we were so small. We didn't have anything but a McDonald's.
Oh, wow.
And that is what inspired. I thought, how can I make money but still make sure my friends get something? So if I pay that instructor $20 an hour and it's an hour Zumba and all you have to do is pay $20, 2 people, I make a profit. And that's what I wanted to do. And it worked. My mom was the first client. She said, I love Zumba, Sophie.
Oh.
And I kept her surprised when she didn't know I owned the business. And as she started to Zumba, I said, this is mine.
Oh, that's so cool.
And she loved it. She was my biggest supporter. She loved it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's
Thank
my
you for
childhood.
sharing that with us.
Yeah.
I would have never imagined you were way on the other side and then came over here to Texas. That's awesome.
What brought you to Texas?
Truth be told, so we live in Houston, Texas. We are about to be declared the 3rd largest city in the United States of America.
That's so
But I
crazy.
think something phenomenal to point out is we are one of the wealthiest cities in Houston. I mean, wealthiest cities in the United States of America, which is Houston, Texas. You are not going to see the things I grew up seeing here in Houston. I've been here 11 years. We're incredibly blessed, but more than anything, it is all new. So there are plenty, again, study your audience, there are plenty of niches and sectors that are not developed yet. I am from New Jersey, which originally is the 3rd state of the union. Everything that you think can be done has been done. When you have developments or Sugarland or Katy that are just brand new, barely have 20 years under the belt, you may not have enough dance schools for the families that are coming. So I encourage anybody watching, if you have a dream to going into entrepreneurism, really concentrate on a sector that you'd like to supply. Do your studies of your demographics, because in Houston, Texas, you can jump and have a success. Anywhere you land, there is a need that has not been catered to. So I highly suggest studying your audience. There is potential, massive, massive potential.
And they call Joanna for the north and call me for the south, and we will help you find a home.
I hate it. On my way over here, I was like, if I ever get somebody that's in Lake City, I'm calling Sabrina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I same thing. If I
The
got
drive.
north, if I get north, it's going to her. Unless it's a person that's my friend or a referral of a close friend, then I'll do that.
I was like, this drive.
Yeah, the drive. It's an hour and a half. So it's definitely something. So
Yeah, it was good. I had on some good music, you know.
music always helps it.
You
Yeah. Okay. So you want to go next?
can go next.
I can go next.
Tell us your childhood story. How did we get here? Who was the original mom?
She's
that
always been
molded
dramatic
this
like
together?
that.
All right, so my mom, single mom too, and she worked in a bindery. So I don't know if you guys know what a bindery is, but that's what she worked in. And she would leave the house at like 5 o'clock in the morning, come home at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I was a latchkey kid. I just would, I think I was like 5 or 6 years old walking home. And so my mom, she loved me, but I know that she was really trying to do the things that she needed to do. And so very often I was with other parents that were available. And one of them was her mom. And so she helped raise me, as did my best friend's mom, Anna. And so that's where I get a lot of my core values. So it was tough. So I went inward and I focused on school. And one of the things that your mom told me was that it's not where you're from, it's where you're headed. And she said that the one thing that nobody can take from you is your education. She said, I don't care what it takes. She said, you finish school. In high school, got pregnant with my son, and I was going to drop out and raise my son. And one of my teachers, I'll never forget her name is Miss Mary Caraway. She got involved, and she said, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna let you drop out. And so she arranged for school daycare for my son, and I was able to finish my senior year. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And but in doing that, it was very much growing through that is like I didn't see my mom very often. And at 15, my mom did leave to live with the man that she's with now. And she made that choice over me. And so that was very hard. And I learned very early that I had to be dependent on myself. And that made my heart kind of hard.
But we love who you are today. Look at you.
Yeah.
You know, how many people you've inspired, how many people you've opened your doors to.
And that was the reason, because I didn't know, you know, I didn't really know where my home was. And so I had to create it, and that was okay, and that's how that happened. And so
That's okay.
and but I have very beautiful people, very beautiful women, Anna and Marianne, that helped raise me, and they did a phenomenal job. Like, they taught me kindness, and they taught me strength, and they said, keep going. And your mother was so motivating to me because we were dirt poor. And she said, where I eat, everyone eats. And that's what I've always opened my house to, my family, to say,
Yeah.
wherever I eat, they eat. And whatever I have, they have. And so I've never closed my doors to my family
Ever.
for that, because if I have a sofa, they have a sofa.
You're gonna make me cry.
I'm sorry.
You are, I just wanna say bravo and thank you to Sabrina's mother for making the choices you made, because she turned out phenomenal. Thank you to your mom. What Sabrina just said, I just want people to know, I moved here by myself, and what she said when her doors opened, do you know how many years this woman like clockwork delivered my Thanksgiving dinner?
I didn't know that about her. Really? Oh, that's awesome.
I tend to isolate like a fool. And the only person that has seen me on holidays for the last 4 to 5 years, okay, knocked on my door when what did I look, abandoned. She opened the door and she goes, have you left? All of stagnant
Your house.
And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I have no family in the States.
Oh.
A huge plate. When I was in my couch going, how much I cornbread? I bet you they're eating them. All of a sudden I turn around with knowing nobody. That her pain of seeing someone alone, because she's been so alone. I open the door and a whole plate in front of me. So
That's a blessing.
when she's saying that she lives by that, I want to say it on record.
She does.
She does.
She does.
I was isolated alone, and I got my whole turkey with no family here because of Sophia.
And she, you know what?
For years.
She has a big heart, and she does. I've never known that about her. I didn't even know who you were until she told me Sophia's gonna be on the podcast, and she was so excited. She spoke so highly of you. That's why I was excited to meet you. But there's things that she don't tell me. I didn't even know that, and that just, I'm proud of you guys. So those are happy tears, proud tears of who you are today.
And it's factual. She has an entire family and array of friends, and she took the time to pick a nobody who's completely alone in Houston to make sure I had a little turkey.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
She's
That's
gorgeous inside and out.
She is.
Wow.
Those are happy tears, right, Prima?
Yeah. You.
Bravísima.
This is why you.
Okay, you're up next.
Yeah, that's
All right,
a good. That's
so-
a good.
What molded you?
I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, over by Second Ward. Over there on what's that street called?
Lockwood and Eastwood.
Lockwood and Eastwood. Used to go to.
Yeah,
Did you just do what I?
I didn't throw a second word. I just.
You did. I think Roxanne's watching. By the way, you know she's
No.
laughing.
You want me to throw a second word?
No, no, no,
I can do it.
no. So yeah, I was born and raised over by, Second Ward, Lockwood and Eastwood. I attended Burnett Elementary. I had such a great childhood, until the age of 13. My mom passed away, and unfortunately, I bounced from school to school to school. You're talking about HISD, AISD, and I will try to turn something that's negative into positive. So I was that kid that talked so much in class. That's why I'm now a real estate agent.
There you go.
So I was pretty much in HISD, AISD. I come from the barrio. I mean, that's what people call it. And I've been in New Caney since 2010.
You're in Caney, wow.
I'm in New Caney, yeah. So when you
That's
said
very cool.
Humble, I was like,
Yeah, you're right, honey.
That's who I am. I was raised by a strong woman, and yes, I had my challenges when mom passed away, but I have looked back and I am like, okay, well, I went through that for a reason. I am now a strong woman, and there is a reason why I had to go through that to be who I am today. So it was definitely challenging, and that is another reason why I strive to be somebody and show my kids that yes, we can. I don't ever want them to struggle the way I did. Right.
See, sit with it.
hmm
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, the struggle is real. And
I know you had a question for me, right?
Yes. Do you feel supported? Do you feel like you can involve your family in your careers? As a real estate?
Absolutely, yeah.
And do you have fun doing that for all the young
Yes.
mothers? I don't want to just focus on tirelessly working, but also involving family. Is that something you guys take, prideful in
We
actually getting?
talked about this last
Yeah,
podcast,
on our
right?
last podcast,
Like,
we did talk about
get the family involved.
she takes her kids on showings.
I do,
Oh,
but I will
cute.
ask my clients, or I'll let them know, hey, I'm gonna show up at 6 p.m., but I'm gonna have one kid with me. Are you okay with that? Oh yeah, of course. So I get them involved very much. My
Yeah.
husband too. Here comes a Sunday, and I have to show a house. He doesn't want to stay at home, so we load up all the kids. We go show the house. Very much involved.
Yeah, as far as me, I mean, my babies are all gone. They're out there living their best life, but I just go and I show up and I do the things for them because I feel like they're still watching.
I don't feel like I can ever fully grow up. I don't think no matter what age you are, you might still.
I'm not grown up.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding.
You'll always be a mother to your kids. Your
Mhm.
kids are always going to need you, and your babies, no matter how grown they are. You
Yeah.
know, check in. And again, shout out to my mom. She doesn't like animals.
It's okay.
I still let her. I go, come to the resort and count something. To gotta keep them involved. And it's where you can find support. If you do not have family, this is not a blood thing. Family are the ones that show up for you.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Okay.
Absolutely.
There's
Yes.
no blood involved. I'm saying if you're my sister from another mister, as they say, you're still my girl.
Yeah.
You're my sister.
Yeah.
You're there for me.
You're absolutely right. You are, and I can personally say that because I am adopted. Yes.
Beautiful. How
I'm
cool.
adopted, and I couldn't even talk about this like maybe 4 years ago. I'd start bawling, but I'm proud. I was adopted at 3 days old, and I mean, I'm happy that my birth mom gave me to a strong woman, and I met these women. Yeah. So yeah, you're right.
Bless. That's beautiful.
Blood doesn't make you family. It absolutely does not.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Right.
Nope. What are your goals this year?
Busy bee, what she got going on?
My goal is to match my numbers from last year. So as long as I match my numbers from last year, I feel that that I've succeeded. And the reason is that I changed brokerages. And so I went from Gary Green to UTR Texas Realtors. And At Gary Green, it's very much, there's a lot of support there and a lot of knowledge and a lot of education and things like that. UTR gives us one-on-one support. It's not for, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, what do you need? I'm here to support you. And it's very quick, very fast, and I feel that my needs are met directly, right? But in that, it's also, there's not that whole group that's doing all the things, right? And so it's me. It's me. So if I can meet these goals from coming from a big branch to a more boutique situation and still be as I was here with Gary Green, Remax, Kellerwood, all the big brands, right? All the big box brands. If I can still do that on my own, then I've considered that a success. So that's my goal for this year as far as my business. My personal, it's different, guys. It's a spiritual journey for me right now. And it's, I'm very transparent. I'm going through a breakup, and I am using this time to learn to be alone, like completely alone, and to be okay with that, and what that looks like. So I was ready to move in with my person, and now I'm not.
Recalibrating.
I'm recalibrating, and I need to take some time off from.
Hey, I saw
a lot of
you
stuff.
were in Hawaii. So was that a good reset, recharge?
It was a good distraction.
Good.
It was a good distraction. It was an amazing. I have no Hawaii. It feels better to cry in Hawaii than it does in Houston.
But with tequila, right?
Rum makes you numb, and so that was the beverage of choice. And I very much. I had a phenomenal trip. I went and I did all the things. Hawaii did not disappoint at all. So if you ever have a chance to go to the Big Island, I recommend it. So it was beautiful. But
well, I am proud of you, and keep taking your trips.
Yeah.
Because
I'm still gonna travel. Yeah. And I think that Hawaii was a moment that I needed to see a lot of things for myself, so that I can prepare for the spiritual journey. I got some growth to do. I have some growing to do. So that's where I'm at on my personal journey. And the goal, I don't really have a goal, just to know myself better, and to be more in love with me. And I think that a lot of times I put a lot of people ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't pay attention inward. And so I find myself, like you said, giving, and then I look at my cup and I'm like, holy shit, it's empty, right? And so so it's very much about being in abundance with myself.
Beautiful.
So yeah, somebody said I was too much, and I realized that that's just abundance.
Hold on, somebody told you you're too much?
Shocker, right?
Somebody told me I was too much. You know what we do?
Oh.
It's a compliment.
Yeah.
You're too much? Okay, go find less.
Find less.
Yes. No, they
Yeah.
did tell me I was too much too. You
Yeah.
know what I did in that
But
moment?
it's more hurtful when it's your person, right?
Yes, I get it. I get it. It hurts regardless, but yes, it's like double the hurt when it's your person. Yeah, I get it.
And it goes back to what we touched on earlier, is to make sure you find the right partner, because we are a different breed. Women in business, you are going to lose your mind every couple hours, because it takes a very high, fast-paced mind. And someone who's not on that, as we use the word calibration, if you guys aren't pumping at the same speed, you are going to seem like you're too much, but you're enough for you. You're enough for what you have to apply, your strength, your intelligence, your motivation, your goals, and it has to be applied a lot. So it's always going to be a lot, baby. I'm going to be too much till the day I die. Let me tell you.
This is who I am, and I'm gonna embrace it.
And that's kind of where I had to kind of go with it, is that if it is too much, well, that's okay, because somebody's gonna come along and they're gonna love that about me.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
And it is what it is.
It's
So.
a compliment, Sabrina, when somebody says you're too much. Somebody did tell me that, and I had to go back. It took me about 2 days,
Well,
which is why she came to pick me up that day, and this is how all this became to be.
Yeah.
They told me I was too much, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I feel like I am nice to everybody when I walk in the room. I don't feel the need to start drama with somebody. I don't feel the need to go give anybody my negative energy, especially in our industry, right? All of us. We
Mhm.
want to always provide service, meet new people, because I'm sure we can help them one day in their lives.
Yeah. I
So
think
if you're too much, embrace it.
I know, but I also am learning to like watch my mouth and try to
Trying to implement all the good things that we may all
I'm
have.
trying to. I don't need to say all of the things.
Life is about fluidity and duality. You're going to be fluid some days. Your viscosity is going to be very light. You can zoom. Some days you might wake up a little thicker. Okay, that is the duality and the fluidity of life.
I slept until 5 o'clock in the afternoon one day. I have
Me
never in my life.
When was
In
this?
Hawaii,
No, the day after Hawaii. Once I got back from
Oh,
Hawaii.
you were tired,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, but also sad. And
Um,
so I just remember I told you. I said when I'm sad I just sleep.
and
yeah,
that's
she
so-
did say that.
Yeah, when I'm sad I sleep. So, and that's just sort of
But you woke up
cause
better, right?
Problems in the world. Yeah. So
I hope all of the strong, powerful women out there that are watching this send Sabrina all our strength,
thank
all
you.
the tools to get
Yeah.
rebalanced and take your time. You are not
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
You're not. You know
Okay.
what though?
And if
I
you
like
are,
that.
I love it.
Yeah. I know I'm too much. My husband can tell me, hey, just bring it down a little bit, you know. But that's just who I am.
Yeah.
Too
Yeah.
much. Or how can I say this? I'd rather be too much and just give all my love, because if I meet somebody, I am just so chatty. I'm telling you, I was that kid that always had talks too much on her report card. And now it makes sense. This is who
Yeah.
I am today.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's a different frequency, right?
I'd rather be with next to a friend or to a woman who's too much than a woman who doesn't talk. It's a little bit sangrona. I can't deal with that. And rarely do I come upon that. I have to be honest. I come
Because
upon
you're not on
women.
the same
You know,
wavelength.
like
You're on
attracts like.
I have some awesome women around me. I'm a
Agreed.
chatterbox,
Same.
and I have chatterboxes with me.
Three Latinas and a podcast like attracts like.
With that, we're gonna go ahead and give our contact information. So we'll go ahead and start with you. You want to give your contact information on how they can reach you in the resort and things like that, or
Yes, on October 1st, we will be going by a new name and new, more inexpensive pricing. Our facility will be called Affordable Dog Boarding Facility of Houston, Texas, where you can make sure your dog gets the care that it needs and not pay extra for it. And of course, our newest venture, which is Fairy Tale Quails, focusing on sustainability, more nutritious eggs, and more nutritious, 10 times more nutritious than chicken. We will be selling quail meat and quail eggs, and also balut, which is an Asian delicacy. I believe we will be the only supplier in Houston, Texas.
Wow.
So reach out to us.
wow.
526 Helena Road. Also in the next coming months, Fairy
Wait,
Tale
say that address again.
526 Elena Road, Houston, Texas, Tidwell off of 45 North.
Okay.
You will also
So
find
by Mattress Mac.
by Mattress Mac.
Hey,
Yes.
hey.
And we are opening a farmer's market, which will be Saturday and Sunday under Fairy Tale Quail Farms.
I'm excited.
That's
What
so
else are you
exciting.
selling there? Are you selling like fruit and stuff like that?
We are starting a community garden, but that is so still developed. There's nothing to pick, but we're hoping this concept really hits our community, and we do want to eventually sell things. But we are looking for vendors. Reach out to Fairy Tale Quail Farms, and come sell your fresh produce.
Ooh, I could sell tamales.
Yes, ma'am. At Visit B, I want you there. We will have lots of quail eggs, quail meat, quail feathers for the kids in their art projects.
Oh, that's
Nice.
cute. I love that.
Awesome.
I love that. Okay.
I'm excited.
Do you have a phone number or a website?
Like I said, on October 1st, we have our new website and everything's rolling out.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that we can place at the end of the video our new stuff. October 1st.
Yeah,
we're
once
shutting
you
it
have
down.
everything,
Okay.
just shoot it over to me in the email and I'll post it in the comments of the YouTube video. So that way
Right.
everybody can kind of, and I'll pin it at the top so that way you guys can get everything to get, your doggies taken care of.
Thank you. I feel very honored for my time here today. You guys are amazing.
Thank you for being here with us. We
Yeah.
appreciate your time.
I'm really glad to have met you.
Yeah.
And then you love dogs. My husband's
Yeah.
like, you come home with another dog.
I love it. This is the most hair-free I've ever been. So.
Oh,
thank you.
That's great. Go ahead. Okay. My name is Sabrina Calvillo. You can find me at thebusylittlebee.com. My number is 713-257-0487. And our YouTube channel is EmPowerHouse -HTX. So it's the word empower and then house, or M and powerhouse, however you want to slice it and dice it, but -HTX because we're in the H. So
H-Town.
H-Town, hold it down.
Don't forget, my name is Joanna Rodriguez. I am your real estate agent. And if you are looking for a house, an apartment, whether you want to buy, sell, or lease, I am here to help. I am in the north side of Houston, 59 North, all of that area, Cleveland, Conroe, go there by 45. I am here to help. And if you don't know where to start for a new build, call me at 281-806-2807.
Until next time.
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
Our next guest, her
Yes,
name is going
sorry.
to be Jamie Hank. And it's going to be a good one too. It's going to be a good one too. I'll tell you why, because she is a coach. She is a fitness fanatic. She loves to inspire other people, whether it's on that field or it's in the gym. And she's just always smiling, always with good energy.
good.
She's one of my coaches.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
I'm excited. So you guys tune in next time. We'll have a new guest. We'll still be here with Bolt Mortgage. And again, a special shout out to Matt Hyde and Bolt Mortgage and Lauren Ashley.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much for giving us the space and place and time. Thank you. Until next time. Bye, y'all.